Hello and welcome back to Let's Play City of Gangsters with the Russell outfit. You're here with Ordinath, and in this episode we're going to try and set up great presses to get our own concentrate. Now, before we do that, let's just see if there's any concentrate that we can buy around the place. I don't think there is. So sometimes you get to a point in a game where it's like, I'm going to have to produce it myself. And we're at that point, so we will need to start heading back across to do that. Before we do, let's just see what missions they've got. This is our niece's wedding. Have a look at these two businesses. That one's just a vehicle fixer. So we've got a potential additional customer here, so we'll take that one. May need that a bit later. Other than that, let's head back across. Okay, so I've got some family that arrived from California. While they've lived there, they worked for a few wineries. They know what wine should look like. Okay, so this could be handy. Okay, so it's 1300, so I'd say this will let us upgrade to being able to do counterfeit wines, so we will take that mission as well. Alright, so we need to move across here now and see if we can't find a building to purchase. Okay, so let's talk about purchasing buildings. So as you can see here, you have some a little icon, a little building icon that you can see here, and it says they might be interested in a business expansion. And people who you've got a certain level of favour, so you have to have 20 favour, and you have to have a favour available to you to buy a building. Now, often when they're on the same corner, they're talking about the same building, so you don't need to go and investigate 50 different spots. And typically you'll have a cluster like this. You must control the area to get another building, and what we're looking for in a building is a few different things. So we have a look at the favour menu. You say, I could use the new building to expand our outfit's operation. Heard of anything available nearby? And they will tell you, now that you mention it, perhaps there's one of those situations where we can help each other out. My mother, June, has a business idea to get started. So when you take control of a building, what you really have is a front, so a legitimate business out the front, and then you need a backroom business. So often this is kind of the dialogue you get where somebody's going to open a business and they'll give you the room out the back. You say, what's this plan? There's a business in the neighbourhood, Midway Fruit Market, and the current owner supposedly went bankrupt and is selling the whole thing. So you said something about helping each other out. And they say, yes, June, my mother, would set up a legitimate business in the front. In return, you can fit out the back of the building. And what it will tell you is three things, or a few things here. What the business is, if it produces anything, so some businesses produce things, some things don't, and then what the capacity is, so how many square meters. So this is important for storage. And then once you've had a look at that, you can say, what do you want from me? And it's like, I just need cash, $680. So it's a cash payment. And then you can either make it happen or not. Now this one has citrus fruit, 28.5 square meters, so we don't really need somewhere that produces citrus fruit. So if we have a look, I would say that this one, so this one's Midway Fruit Market as well. So like I said, they tend to be the same if you go to the same corner. So let's have a look across here and see what the story is. Now, we've only got 16 favour here, which is why we can't see what building they've got. This guy we sell to has got 76, so we can have a look. Now this one is Prairie Tool Store. Now this one's kind of interesting, because it produces bricks sheet metal, and baseball bats. Now, while you'd be thinking, well, what do I need more baseball bats and sheet metal for? Particularly the sheet metal and bricks, this is pretty fantastic. Hasn't got a lot of storage space, surprisingly, but I guess it's a tool store. So that's that one. Let's see what this corner offers. Uber Brickyard. So this one just produces bricks, but you can see it's got 50 cubic meters of capacity. So this has got some serious capacity. Now it does have the advantage of being right next door to our existing one. So that one's not too bad either. We are going to set up grape presses, so maybe that's advantageous. Obviously, the ideal would be for a grape press place to find a building that has grapes or produces grapes. So that would usually be some sort of fruit shop. Now, for your buildings, you can look under controlled buildings here. Now we've only got one, so that's kind of the only piece there. The other thing you can look at is in zoning. So say for example you're trying to look for a particular building. So for example we're looking for somewhere that's going to sell fruit. You're probably trying to look for somewhere in the commercial zone, so you can do that too. Under the report dialogues, you can also see your fronts and territories, which is also another way of kind of having a look at your buildings and how they fit in. So the question is, do we keep trying to look for a building that's got fruit? We might as well have a look at all the options we've got, because we've got plenty of movement. Okay, so this one is the cold storage. So it produces grapes and ice and has massive amount of capacity. So this is wonderful. So we will take this building. So these bigger buildings tend to cost a bit more, and often the types of things they produce are more expensive, but we will go ahead and make that happen. So here's to doing business together. Okay, so that was a great find. Now if we have a look in here, so we now have this other property we now own, and we can see that we have got space out the back to set up our own illegal business. If we look under the tab for the business, you'll see that it'll produce every 3 days 1 grapes and 20 ice. So it's not a lot of grapes, but that will really assist us long term so that we don't have to find too much grapes. The other thing is, let's have a look at setting up an operation. So what we want to do is set up a grape press. Now a grape press will take 4 grapes and 16 barrels of grapes every 7 turns and turn them into 16 barrels and turn them into grape concentrate. So we basically get barrels and grapes, and we're able to get plenty of concentrate. Now as we move forward and we get to the point where we can do directly produce wine, we can just feed grapes and barrels straight in to do the counterfeit wine. And in fact, I'm wondering if that is what we should ultimately pursue, because this one here will ultimately, I think, herd through the grapevine will get us to a point where we can successfully do straight into counterfeit wine. So maybe let's get that skill and see what we can build. I do get the feeling though we probably need to do the grape press, because otherwise what's going to happen is we are literally going to run clean out of brick wine and find ourselves in the awful position where we can't do anything else. So you can run into these dead ends. You could imagine that we've got no way of getting grape concentrate whatsoever. So turn this off. We could get to the point where we literally cannot get a drop of grape concentrate anywhere. And then we would be in the horrible position where we can't actually do anything at all. So what we should do though is check where can we buy grapes. So we've got 2 spots we can buy grapes if we need to. And we'll need barrels. So there is 1, 2 spots where we can buy barrels. So let's go ahead, and we won't bet that we can kind of make the magic happen. We will set ourselves up our grape press. So the grape press will need $750, 5 pipes, 25 barrels, and 6 bricks. And if we look here, from completing that mission previously, we were in the fortunate space of having 5 pipes and 25 barrels as part of the deal, which means we then need to find some bricks. So bricks, there is only the 1 spot we can get bricks, and I think we've already pacified this bloke on this corner, whichever crew it was. I can't remember which crew it was. Boslog crew. So they're compliant. Regardless, we'll be able to do what we need to do. When you acquire a new business as well, you often get free materials, whatever's in there. So we actually acquired spiced rum, we acquired cordials, so think of them as cocktails, ice, and then we've just improved our office a little bit. So we've got our coat and rack stand. So this will keep filling out as we get bigger and uglier. And what else have we got in there? Sparkling cider and some bottled rum. So there's a fair bit of dosh. Like, even though it cost us $1,200 to acquire, there's probably, you know, close to $1,200 worth of goods in there. So often acquiring a business is relatively cost neutral as long as you got the cash up front. So in any case, let's go ahead and start developing this. First thing we need to do is bring all the barrels and all the pipes across. So we have the barrels and pipes. Now let's see if we can go get ourselves some bricks. Do we have any favours or things we want to use up on the way? No, I think we will just move our way along. We probably could try and sell some brick wine. We'll do that later. Let's get on with trying to get our bricks. Okay, so let's see if we can buy some bricks. Now, I think we want 5 bricks from memory. Often I sort of feel like, might as well buy a whole load of bricks if I've got the money. Let's have a look here. Great press. So 6 bricks. I checked. 6 bricks. I do find you often end up in the position where you get slightly the wrong number, or you do slightly the wrong thing, and then you find yourself tracking back and forth. It's one of the reasons I like the driver skill so much, because it saves you a lot of that mucking around in time. Alright, so let's set up our great press and build that. Now, just like all the other things that we've done before, it is good to have a manager at a place, because having a manager at a place ensures that you get the most efficiency. And just like we obviously want to maximize our production of booze, we want to maximize our production here. So we haven't got a manager at the moment. We will leave some money there because we will need the manager to do stuff, but we will take the opportunity to grab some of this and sell it. So let's have a little look here. Spiced rum. I think we had nobody wanting spiced rum, but do we want someone wanting bottled rum? We do have someone wanting bottled rum. And we do have sparkling cider as well down here, so let's take the opportunity to make some money out of that. Sparkling cider, bottled rum. Okay, bottled rum. Sparkling cider. I've already got the max price for these, which is wonderful. You can see this second tier stuff is really worth a lot of coin. So let's just go and balance the books back here as well. So I like to leave about $200 per person who is getting paid for out of a place. So both our driver, our bagman, and Annie are all getting paid out of this Republic lumber. So we'll leave 400 there for that. And I think overall this one's running pretty well. It's not too much we need to do. The only thing we can do is steam sanitizer, but we'll go after sanitary measures later, I think. We've got loads of brick wine here to sell. Just amazing. And my car's also getting banged up just for good measure. So the other thing we'll need is for inputs here is small barrels, so you need quite a lot of small barrels. But let's try and hire someone first so that we've got the right people in the job. And if I go to crew list, and we're looking for hardworking and organised. Okay, fortunately we've got plenty of those people, so Annie is hardworking and organised. We've also got Alma. Short. It's not bad to have with it. Curious. Doesn't really matter. Just vanilla, hardworking and organised for both of those. Now, the ones who are American are more likely to like me. Because I'm American, so we might go for they're a ways away. What about this bloke? Where was our short one? Yes, okay, we'll go with Alma Erickson. So we'll move our way over here. Ready for that. Where was it? Alma. Let's see if we can find Alma. Oh, this is Marvin. We can take Marvin too. Alright, we'll take Marvin. Okay, now we'll allocate Marvin to our business. And now, if we go, we'll take the opportunity to buy some small barrels because we'll need as many of those as we can get our hands on. Need to go repair our car. And now we'll head back here, drop off the barrels. Now if we look in here, I think we can do production tracking. So we will install production tracking, which gives us a bonus here now to the grape concentrate, and put another $100 in there. Cordials, can we sell the cordials? Does anyone want cordials? There's absolutely nowhere that wants a cordial. Okay. Guess we're not doing cordials. There's no one who wants to buy the spiced rum. And now we've got 15 moves to burn, but no actions. What we really want to do is buy more small barrels. So our other places with small barrels are down here. So let's go do our exploring in this direction, hey? It's not a hot corner. Now look, somebody still wants to make us an offer, but I'm just too busy to be doing offers. Now, what you do get up here in the notifications, now that we've got Daniel Roy going around and doing deliveries, etc., is every time they buy and sell something, they will tell you, it will be notified up here. So you can kind of watch the progress of how we're going. You can also see up here anything that's happened in terms of the delivery upside or downside with costs. So you can see here scheduled deliveries of $450. It also tells you who's got what on them. So Daniel Roy's got $100, the storage has got $200, I've got $400, and Republic Lumber's now got $2,000 sitting at it. So that's going to start building up quite nicely as Daniel does all his deliveries. Got Marvin in the gang. Really need to keep our crew size growing. Now I'm just wondering, is this one still expanding from previously? We might check that out next turn. Okay, it was expanding, and so we buy our small barrels while we've got the chance. We're going to need plenty of them, so let's stock up. But let's go across here and make sure we are continuing to expand our front. So how's our front doing? Oh, it'd be great if it expanded. Now there were no businesses on that corner, so there's no need to go and extort anything else from anyone. So let's go deliver these barrels so that when our grape concentrate business is up and running, we'll totally be able to start producing plenty of grape concentrate. So by the time, so there's a bit of a mismatch between grapes. So you get 4 grapes every 12 turns, but we're going to be producing every 7, maybe 6 turns. So we need to supplement with about 50% of the grapes. So we should still go now and find some grapes and just buy a chunk of those and throw them in. Good news is it's right next door. So we might take the opportunity to explore a bit. Someone wants to make me an offer. Of course they do. Alright, so let's go sort out these grapes first. Cannery. A discount on our $2 grapes. Of course we'd love it. I'll take 11. Okay, so this we're all set up to go now, so this is in good shape. What have we got else? Industrial filters and steam sanitizers. So what'll industrial filters? 10% more output from the materials. For $400, that's probably worth it. So let's go down here. Now I haven't been carrying a pistol for a while, but we will now. And let's take most of the cash. And I'm going to start selling off some of this brick wine as well. So we'll go to a good run of brick wine. Now I think we needed 400 for this upgrade, so we'll do that. There we go. And now you can see we're going to use a bit less in terms of barrels. So you'll notice that when you put your mouse over it, it'll tell you exactly what the amount of barrels is you're using. So in fact you use 14.4 and 3.6, and then when we're going to make 17.6. So you will get those additional components. It doesn't round them when it produces, but it does when you actually see the production details. So that's just one of those little finicky things. Now if you look up the top as well, you can see we've got this gold symbol. Sometimes you miss this, but it's kind of really important, because this means that your friendly local police officer who you've bribed is at the point where they need you to bribe them a little bit more. So the money that you spend only lasts for 250 days, about, I don't know how many turns that is, maybe 25 turns or so. Maybe 30 turns, 32 turns. But anyway, you need to top them up. So the good news is that when you bribe them a second time, you can get another weapon. So And in this case, we've ended up getting a shotgun, which is really good. So we've now got her back on side, which is great. Alpha's been gone. We sold some stuff, and we've got a Winchester rifle, which is great. People want to offer me stuff. So the Winchester rifle, because I didn't have room, has ended up back here. It's the most powerful weapon in the game, other than the Tommy gun. But I'll leave it there for the moment. It's okay. I've got a pistol on board, so I'm not too worried we're going to run out there. Now, we've got a load of booze with us. We do have this 25 we wanted to deliver up here. So we might start off by doing that, I think. Or maybe we can just sell what we've got here. We've got 2 action points, so we can do that. I want to sell brick wine. Oh, 27. We mustn't have fed them for a while. And now let's deliver the 25 we've got here. So what we get here is a few different options. So very impressed with your homemade brick wine. In fact, we'd like you to open your own bootlegging spot, or if you think it's something else. Okay, so this one here will give us the backroom bootlegging, which helps you basically open a speakeasy. So that's pretty good. And we get our $500. Now it starts mission unmarked doors, which is another reward for opening your bootlegging operation. You can choose this one here and just improve relations, but then you won't get the backroom bootlegging or the $500. So we'll live with getting the new mission, because at some point we'll want to do some bootlegging anyway. Okay, that's the other mission we've got, to deliver some wine, but that's a long way away, so I don't think I really want to do that. Okay, so old mate's continuing to sell some stuff. We've got our backroom bootlegging now. How does this guy sell? Stoneware Crocs. Of course he does. It might be worth just buying those while I got the chance, just to top up our main spot. Now where else can we sell some brick wine? Might sell some on the way back here. Oh, that was almost perfect. Now let's drop off our stoneware Crocs just to keep this well and truly stocked up there. Get the money square. And then I will go and sell the remainder of this brick wine, I think. Oh yes, we've got her paid off. And I don't want to buy any. I didn't think I'd been there that recently. I don't want to buy any either. Somebody else selling to them. Oh no, I know. It's because my local guy has literally just been there. Okay, so maybe we do have to go across the other side. That's okay, we can do that. Okay. So just selling off all this brick wine here now. Okay, we will empty the car, so that's fine. If I'd had more, I would have continued across here and taken the opportunity to activate this person as a seller, but we've managed to do it all without that. So now the next thing I would like to do is start going down the path of seeing if we can get counterfeit wine going. But before we do that, let's have a look who's got a skill point. So Annie's got a further skill point, and we're going to put that into production manager. Now let's have a look here what Annie's got. So she's down to now using 8.64 grape concentrate and 58 to produce 88, so that's pretty damn efficient now. And then over here, still got 2 more days before the grape concentrate comes back online, and then it takes 7 days, I think, does it? Yeah, so we are going to stall production here, I would say. Yeah, this production's going to stall because we won't have any grape concentrate. It is how it is. Sometimes it doesn't always keep moving. If you can keep it going consistently, obviously that creates a lot of wealth, but you can't always do it, unfortunately. But in any case, let's talk to this gentleman and give him his $1,300. And now, so with the help of your cash, I can ask my connections about one of these things. So I've got a few things we can do. We can either gain backroom winemaking, which gets us down the counterfeit wine. Now we have bottle labels already, which is good. We can get sanitary measures in $250, which is honestly a real waste, considering we just paid $1,200. Or we can get a whole bunch that we could on-sell, which is kind of making cash. But to be honest, we definitely want the backroom winemaking, so we'll do that. Okay, Andy's got another mission for us. Let's have a look what he's got. My clients like your brick wine just fine. In fact, I think they want you to put, if you were to put a bit more effort with bottles and labels, you'd find it. Do you think so? Perhaps I should look into expanding my operation in that direction. I know so. In fact, if you get a backroom wine operation going, I'd be willing to contribute to its success. Now, how many missions have we got running? 4. We can get to 5. Okay, we're going to set one of these up, so I will take that opportunity to take that mission. Okay, so of course, what are we going to need if we want to do proper winemaking? Well, we are going to need to go ahead and buy yet another property. We haven't quite got the cash. Actually, we probably do have the cash for that at the moment. The other thing we could do is tidy up this mission, but I don't really want to because there's no particular need to. We could also go into gambling, and we're probably getting close to having the cash for that. But my preference, I think, would be to go into the counterfeit wine because that is quite lucrative and you can get quite a nice supply chain running from what you have. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, I've got 88 brick wine here that I could sell. I've got plenty of bottle labels, got some money. And then here, the grape concentrate will start turning out pretty soon. So let's go and see if we can find a building. Now for a building for this, like, I don't think it really matters too much what you get. It would be nice if it had grapes, maybe it would be nice if it produced grape concentrate, but the truth is you're either using grapes or directly, or you're using brick wine to enable you to produce the bottled wine or the counterfeit wine. So let's go and see if we can find another place to purchase. Now, I don't know. Okay, there's one building over here, 2 buildings over here. It'd be kind of nice to have our production over this way because I kind of get the feeling we're going to get pressed on the other side. So let's go over this way. Now, the other thing I need to have a look at is who have we got from a police precinct's point of view under our thumb. So we've got both these ones, so anywhere over here. I probably would like to just check out up here and see who we've got. or where we're at with those police guys. But anyway, let's move our way all the way over to here and end the turn and see where we're at. Okay, offers have expired. Police descend on places. What's new? Okay, let's have a look what building there is. Okay, so Forest Farms Dairy. It produces bottles, bottle labels, and sugar. Wow, that is good. $1,580. Oh, I reckon that could be good. Okay, that's pretty excellent. I'm just thinking with $1,580, that'll take us down to about 2,000, of which we need to keep 600 or 800 to keep paying people. And then how much it would cost us to set up. But look, let's go ahead and do it. Let's get our hands on the dairy. I mean, that is an amazing building for what we're trying to do. Alright, let's make it happen. Now let's see what we scored in the dairy itself. So we just had industrial alcohol, sugar, bottles and bottle labels. And if we look at the dairy, it's going to produce every 4 turns 10 labels, 20 bottles. Wow, that's pretty amazing. And then if we have a look here, we've got 2 options for our backroom winery. You can either have a backroom winery. Now, because we have grape presses, we can just use grapes and labels, which we'll get plenty of labels, and bottles, and turn them into wine. So this is amazing because we're going to get bottles and labels for nothing from this place. And if we have a look at the other backroom winery, it's a bit cheaper to build, so it's 2,000 versus 3,500, but it requires brick wine to feed in to then turn into counterfeit wine. So we're actually going to go for the backroom winery, and that's going to be 3,500, 10 pipes, 40 barrels, and 15 bricks. So overall, it's maybe $4,500. So now what we want to do is focus as hard as we can on getting that $4,500 to start building out this backroom winery. Well, look, I think that's probably a good place to leave it for this episode. And when we come back, we will start moving down the path of trying to get enough money together for this winery. So look, thanks for watching, everyone. If you are enjoying the episodes, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.